Championship is back today as of recording. It's currently 5 p.m. and the first game kicks off at 8 p.m. So I am in a bit of a time crunch right now. But we're here to do Game Week 1 predictions for the EFL Championship 26-27 season. And the first game I'm going to be covering is Wolves Blackburn, which kicks off tonight, like I said, at 8 p.m. In this game, I think Wolves are heavy favourites. Sorry, let me just adjust my camera a little bit. I think Wolves are heavy favourites. Shouldn't really be surprised. This is very much top of the table versus bottom of the table. I think it's going to be very comfortable for Wolves. I'm going to go 3-1, I reckon. I think Wolves score two early on. Blackburn score a consolation to spark some hope before Raul Jimenez nets the third for Wolves and the fourth of the game. That's my prediction for this game. Is Raul Jimenez will score the last goal of the game, no matter which goal it is. But he will score the last goal in this game. And now swiftly moving on to the second game, which will be Bolton versus Preston. Now, Bolton versus Preston is going to be an interesting game. Obviously, both sides not as strong. Preston kind of solidifying themselves as a championship side. Bolton just coming up. I think this has potential to be an entertaining game, but I'm not sure how clinical either side's going to be in finishing the chances they've created. So for that reason, I am going to go with Bolton 1, Preston 1 for this game. My prediction is that Preston will score first and Bolton will equalise after the 70th minute. Next up we have Bristol versus Millwall, and this is an interesting game because stylistically both teams, they have similarities, but they're also very different. It's hard to explain. This is definitely going to come down to more the managers than the players, I believe. Pardon me, sorry. What am I doing? Obviously, Scabala's new, so whether he's going to struggle just to settle in and he might pick up a few points in the first couple games, especially against Millwall, is very difficult. Bristol are at home, so that might give them a bit more hope. I'm going to say that it's going to be Bristol 1, Millwall 2. And the reason why I'm saying this is I just think Millwall are a stronger side with a manager they had last season. So everything's at the beginning of the season, everything's kind of working against Bristol. But as time goes on, I'm sure they're going to improve. Our next game is Charlton Derby. Now, Charlton have been in the Championship. This is going to be their second season in the Championship now. Obviously, Derby have been fluctuating for a while, but definitely seem to be a still side in the Championship. Now, I'm hearing a lot of people back in Derby a lot, especially in their table positions, and I don't think I have them as high as a lot of people, but I still think they're going to be able to beat pretty much everybody below them. Maybe one or two teams they might struggle with. It's just the teams above them. So for this game, I've got Charlton 0, Derby 1. Now, do I think it's going to be a boring game? Not necessarily, but I just think both teams are going to be looking to play good defense, and ultimately Derby are going to create more chances with more possession, meaning that I believe they'll be the team that finds the breakthrough. Fourth game now, and we're heading to Middlesbrough as they take on Lincoln at home. Middlesbrough being at home, if for anyone that was confused by that sentence. But this really is the definition. This game is third versus bottom third. You know, that's how I see this game in my head. Is it's the third best side in the league versus the third worst side in the league. Maybe even the worst side in the, all I'm saying is there's definitely going to be a massive golfing class with these two teams. Simple as I have it as Middlesbrough 3, Lincoln 0. I can't see Lincoln scoring. I can see Middlesbrough scoring a couple. I think Lancashire might even get a brace if he starts. So, I'm sorry Lincoln fans, but it's a rough start to the season for you. Middlesbrough, I mean, things might be looking up at the start already. Now we head to Carrow Road as Norwich take on West Brom. Now, both of these sides play fun football. I think they've both got really good squads with some good young core. Now, do I think that there is a difference in some of the class of the players? Yes. Do I think there's a difference between the managers? Yes. Do I think both of those things favour Norwich? Yes. So do I think this match favours Norwich? Yes. Do I think Norwich are going to win this match? No. I have Norwich 1, West Brom 1. Now, see, the thing is Norwich can dominate as much as they want with, obviously, their better players and this and that. But the problem is I don't know why, but something in my head tells me that West Brom are just going to pull through this game and just they're gonna get a relatively early goal, but they're gonna be leading, or at some point during the first half they're gonna be leading. Let's just say that, and then all of a sudden they're just gonna hold on perfectly. Maybe not perfectly, because they're gonna concede, but they're gonna play really good football. Still be a bit attacking, but ensuring that they will at least get a point from this game against a strong Norwich side. Now we've got Portsmouth versus QPR, and if you watched my table predictions videos, I think you see where I'm about to go with this game. This is going to be a nil-nil game if I've ever seen it. Mark my words, this will be nil-nil. This is either, actually I'll do you one better, this is either going to be nil-nil or 3-3. Maybe not better because I've just said two scores, but nil-nil or 3-3. This game, like either both teams are just going to keep scoring and keep scoring and keep scoring and nobody can defend, or nobody's going to be able to score because of a poor quality in attack. I've got this as nil-nil. Now we've got a fun one in Stoke versus Swansea. Stoke at home at the Bet365 Stadium, if it's still called that. I believe it is. I look like a casual, but anyway, yeah, Stoke versus Swansea, two very interesting sides. Stoke obviously spending 10 million on Swansea's Ethan Galbraith. Don't know if that's actually, you know, don't know if that's actually worth it or whether Swansea have fleeced him. Ethan Galbraith, like I said in my table predictions, Ethan Galbraith could be worth 10 million, but is he worth 10 million for Stoke to buy him? No, it wasn't the smartest investment from Stoke. However, I think Stoke are going to win this game 2-1. I do. And not really much of a reason, more of a gut feeling. I think Vipotnik will score if he is still playing, starting. If he's starting, if Vipotnik is starting, he will score. But I think I can see Stoke pulling through 2-1. Next up at Bramall Lane is Sheffield United versus Birmingham. Now Sheffield United losing Gus Harmer, not had the greatest replacements. They brought in Calvin Phillips and Matt Doherty. Like, is that really going to do much for you? Obviously, talked about that a little bit in my table prediction video as well. Taking on a Birmingham side that I have a lot of faith in this season. I think Birmingham are going to be quite solid. And for that reason, I have got Birmingham winning 2-0 over Sheffield United. I just think that the way Birmingham play football in comparison to the way Sheffield United play football is already benefiting Birmingham. I have more faith in Birmingham than Sheffield United after Sheffield United have lost arguably their best player or best midfielder. Sheffield United aren't going to create many chances even against this Birmingham side. So I think 2-0 to Birmingham is a fair result. Then we head to Vicarage Road for Watford versus Southampton. And as much as I want to believe that Watford can pull something out against this Southampton side, I can't. This, for me, is a 3-1 Southampton game. Southampton, obviously, amazing form to end the season, probably would have been in the Prem if it wasn't for the Spygate incident, which is fair enough. Obviously, they've had a 4-point deduction because of it as well. But this is a game where Southampton are just going to dominate. And it's unfortunate, but that's just how I see this game going. Next up is two of the relegated sides, Burnley versus West Ham. Obviously, I've said that this is the weakest, or definitely top two of the weakest Burnley sides in the Championship since they established themselves as a Premier League regular. Compare that to this West Ham team who've somehow managed to keep all their key pieces pretty much, other than who did they sold someone, but they've kept Castellanos, they kept Bowen, they've kept Nuno Espirito Santo as manager. Their defense is still solid. compare that to this Burnley side. I can only see this going West Ham's way, and I'm going to say 2-1 to West Ham. I think Bowen will get a goal contribution. I think Tati Castellanos will get a goal contribution. And I think it's going to be a really solid showing from West Ham, even though Burnley are going to show some fight, especially at home. Now for the Monday night kickoff and the final game of Game Week 1, we've got Cardiff versus Wrexham. Now, the way Wrexham play football is very similar to a lot of teams in League One. They haven't really advanced their football to match their ambitions and where they're playing. Whether that's going to change at this season is a different story. But based on the way Cardiff played football against those League One sides last season, and the fact I do perceive Wrexham to play a lot like most of the teams in League One, I actually do see this as Cardiff 2, Wrexham 0. And again, no, I'm not from Cardiff, I swear. I don't support them. Nothing about nothing, none of that. But Cardiff will beat Wrexham 2-0. I think Cardiff are going to be very strong in the way they play football. I think they're not going to change anything just because they've taken the step up from League One to the Championship. I think they're going to take it to teams and say, this is what we're bringing. Can you hack it? Can you match it? And I don't think Wrexham can. So that will do it for my Game Week 1 predictions of the EFL Championship. Make sure you drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that jazz. And don't forget that on Tuesday there will be a roundup / reaction to my predictions for the game week, etc. Just reviewing the scores, what happened, reviewing my predictions. So make sure you stay tuned for that on Tuesday. Video coming out Sunday, hopefully. But I'm not going to spoil nothing about that. But it's to do with the Premier League. So make sure you stay tuned if you're a Premier League fan. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for taking the time out of your day. Love.